is the bottom of page 3 for the study guide for benchmark 2. And so let's take a look at questions 47 and 48 are digit and coin problems. So it tells me since there's only two problems, one's a digit and one's a coin problem. So I'm going to set up the formula the same way I've done in the past, where when we're dealing with a digit problem, we're going to be having they're going to talk about a two-digit number, and then they're going to talk about that two-digit number being reversed. So this is my original, and this is my digits being reversed. And so let's see what it says. The sum of the digits, the two-digit number, is 9. And so that is my quantity equation. So I have a quantity, and the quantity is going to be x plus y. So I sum the digits, and it is equal to 9. Well, now they're going to talk about the value of the equations. It says if the digits are reversed, the new number is 63 greater than the original. So let's go ahead and write the value of the digits being reversed. Y is in the tens place. So notice both of these, x and y, this is the tens place here for the original, and the number reversed, y is now in the tens place. Well, if I go into the next digit here, the y, and the x for the digit reversed, that's in the ones place. So that's the formula I'm going to end up using here. 10y, because y is in the tens place, plus 1x equals, now I compare it to the original. The original, well, x was in the tens place, y is in the ones place. 10x plus 1y. Now it says that the new number, new is 63 greater than the original. So this one is 63 bigger. So that means that I need to add 63 to the original. Alright, well, we're ready to solve. So what we're going to do is use some opposite operations, simplify this equation just a bit by subtracting that 10x. I'm also going to take away this 1y from all sides. And here's what I have left over. So I go ahead and do some work there. I got 9y minus a 9x, and this all equals 63. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce this equation. I'm going to take out a common factor and multiply the whole thing by 1/9. That's dividing by 9. And so when I do that, my new equation is y minus x equals 63. So now I'm going to take that quantity equation, bring it on down, and we're going to combine some equations together. So I got y plus x, same thing as x plus y, and that equals 9. And so one thing I forgot to do here, I just noticed I made an error. I forgot to divide the 63 by 9. So let's fix that right now before I go any further. 9 goes into 63, and that goes in 7 times. And so when I add these equations together, I end up getting the x's to cancel. So I'm left with 2y equals 16. So when I do some division there, divide by 2, I get y at 8. So there's y. Now I got to figure x out. Well, y plus x equals 9. So that tells me that x equals just 1 when I substitute that 8 back in for this y right here. So my answer is the original number. And so it's xy. So the answer is going to be 18. And there it is. Well, same sort of thing on this one here. We'll set up the same type of problem. The sum of the two-digit number is 16. So we have x plus y equals 16. Well, if the digits are reversed, so reverse the digits. 10y plus 1x. And set that equal to the original 10x plus 1y. And the new number is now 18 less. Less means this is 18 smaller than this one. That means I need to take 18 away from the original to make these equal. So when I go ahead and simplify this, I end up subtracting that 10x from both sides. I take away the 1y from both sides. And I've got an equation that looks very similar to the first problem we did. 9y plus negative 9x equals negative 18 this time. So same sort of thing. I'm going to get rid of reduce this equation by dividing by 9. It's the same thing as multiplying by a ninth. And when I do that, I'm left with y minus x equals negative 2. So I go ahead and bring that quantity equation back down below so I can add it together to that value equation, and I can get those and get those x's to cancel again. But notice you got 2y equals 14. So do the division. Y is 7. So there's y. Now let's find x. I'll just plug it back in. So it's x plus 7 equals 16. And so when I do that subtraction of 7 from 16, x is 9. So 97 is our answer. Remember, it goes x and then y. Well, let's take a look at this next one. This is a coin problem. We're going to have a quantity value problem as well. So dimes and quarters contained in a jar. There's $15.25. 103 coins in all. So there's our quantity equation. Instead of x, let's use the first letter in each of the types of coins we have. So let's do D plus Q equals 103. So now the value of the dimes, 10 cents for the dimes, 25 cents for the quarters. Now since I'm in cents, see this said 10 cents, I'm going to use $15.25 in cents as well. So that makes $15.25, so 1,525 pennies there. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and multiply this top equation by negative 10. Every number there by negative 10. So let's write that down. We got negative 10q, negative 10d equals negative 1,030. And so let's add this stuff together. We'll get these d's to cancel. We've got a 15q. This all equals, when we do that subtraction, I've got to borrow here. Remember, this 4 becomes or 5 becomes a 4, and that makes a 495. And so when we do that division, let's see what's left over. So we'll divide by the 15. So off to the side, 15 into 495. Well, 15 goes into 49. We have 3 times with 4 left over, and we have 45 again, so that makes 3 again. So Q is 33. So from there, just use that quantity equation, subtract 33 from 103, and that'll give you the number of dimes. So dimes is 103 minus 33. And that gives me 70. 70 is the number of dimes. 33 quarters. Well, let's take a look at the next one here. We've got another coin problem. Ed paid $1.35 for a cup of coffee, dimes and nickels. So D plus N equals how many coins in all? 19. Well, a dime, remember, that's 10. Nickels, 5 cents. So let's write down plus 5 cents for the nickel equals $1.35. But we got to write it in cents, so 135 pennies. So let's go ahead and cancel out one of these unknowns. I think it's easier just to multiply by negative 10. So that's what I'll do. Negative 10d minus 10n equals negative 190. So off to the side, I need to add these equations together. I get the d's to cancel. I got negative 5n. And up here I need to do 190 minus 135. So I need to borrow, change that to an 8. So that makes 55. So negative 55. So n is 11. 11 nickels. Subtract that from 19 and you'll get the value of, or how many dimes you ended up having, which was 8. So 8 dimes, 11 nickels. Well, moving on to these problems. These are systems of inequalities. Only one question here, so let's just try these. Looks like you got to do some work to get the y by itself on this one. Just got to subtract the 3x. And so, actually, I'm going to get y by itself, so I'm going to add the 1. Add 1 to both sides. I've got y. Now notice the inequality sign. Less than or equal to 3x plus 1. So I moved the inequality sign around, switched it because I wanted to match what it said right here. Because I just moved the 1 over. I added it to both sides. So I start at 1, go up 3, and then over 1, or down 3, over 1. And then draw the line. It's a solid line. And then I got to figure out the shading. So the shading, it says y is less. Less means below. So it's going to go off in this direction here. Well, taking a look at that next line, we've got a 3x, and it looks like a positive 5y there. So it's going to be 3x is less than 15, so x is less than 5. So less than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. And then 5y. 5y is less than 15, so y is less than 3. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, put a line there, and then draw that line. Now, careful here, it's a dashed line, and it says y is less, x is less, so it's either down or to the left. And then the only area that ends up matching is down in here. Well, moving on to the next one there, we've got this time we need to move this 2 over. So notice how I'm keeping the inequality sign the same way with respect to the y. So I'm subtracting the 2. So I've got x minus 2. So I go down 2, then I use that slope. It's a 1-to-1 slope here. So I'm just going up and to the right or down to the left. And it's a dashed line. So the slope, well, the y value has to be bigger than any other number. So the y's are bigger, so it's going to end up shading above that line. Over here, slope-intercept form, well, you could do some work to get in the slope-intercept form. I'm going to use xy intercepts. 2x is less than 6, so x is less than 3. Did some division there. And I go over to 3, put a dot. For the next one, I got negative 3y is less than 6. Careful on the sign here, it switches. Y is greater than negative 2, so down 2. And these lines are pretty close. So it goes like this. And the y values need to be bigger than negative 2. So bigger means above. And they need to be less than x. So less means to the left. So it's either above or to the left. So the area that ends up matching would be up in this region up here. Well, 2 more to try here. We've got a little bit of work. Move that 1 back over. Still have y. Now look at the y value. I'm keeping it open towards the y. Still a positive 4x, but now it's a positive 1. So there's my point. I'm going up 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, or down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1 to the left. Another dashed line. And then from there we can go ahead and figure out the shading. Positive y is greater, so greater means up in this direction here. Looking at the next one, I've got slope-intercept, or the xy-intercept form. 2x is less than or equal to 12, so x is less than or equal to 6. So I go over 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the next one is 3y is less than or equal to 12, so y is less than or equal to 4. So up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then draw the line, a solid line. And to figure out the shading, y is less and x is less. Less means either to the left or down. Left or down. Either way will get you that answer. And the only region that ends up working is right in there. Well, one more problem here. Here it's just as x. No y. If it's just x, go over to x at negative 3. 1, 2, 3. And then just draw a line. Every x value has negative 3. So it's going to be a vertical line going right through x at 3. Over here, just move this 2 back over. You've got y is less because it points to the y. The 2x doesn't change signs, but the negative 2 will become positive 2. So when I go ahead and graph that, up 2 spaces, then use the slope, 2 to 1. So up 2 over 1 each time, or down 2, left 1. And then from there we draw the line. Careful on the line, it's a dashed line. And this one is y less. Less means below. Well, let's figure out what the x is. I didn't figure that out, so let's go back to that. X is greater than. Greater means to the right. So which area? It has to be below the blue, right of pink. There it is. So we'll do page 4 on the next part.